Hello and welcome to the Sunday Guardian show by Joyeeta Basu. I am the editor of the weekly newspaper, the Sunday Guardian. Today, let me speak about the lead report in our newspaper this week, titled India Confident of Facing Chinese Aggression, which has been written by our reporter T. Brajesh. Now, our reporter speaks of how, even as China expects India to adhere to its One China principle, New Delhi has started working on various plans to snub Beijing and give it a few anxious moments. So, are the Chinese anxious? Oh, yes, as even a cursory look at the way things are developing will tell you. Now, we know what that One China principle is, where People's Republic of China maintains that there is only one Chinese government, the one that rules from Beijing, and that Taiwan is a breakaway province and does not have any legitimacy as an independent nation. Now, China's extreme sensitivity on the matter became apparent when during Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, following which China literally went ballistic by conducting live fire drills in Taiwan's territorial waters and then by launching missiles towards Japan. Now, there was a lot of huffing and puffing by China. Now, at that time, there was some criticism of India's silence on the Taiwan issue. Why India was not criticizing communist China's aggressive behavior? Why India was silent? There was talk that there are times that the democracies ought to stand together in the face of such breach of international rule of law. The kind of criticism that has been coming India's way ever since India has taken a neutral stand on the Russia-Ukraine war. But is India really neutral in this case? Not really. So what did India do that had the Chinese jumping around like a cat on a hot tin roof? Now, on 12th August, around 10 days after Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, in a weekly media briefing, mentioned that, like many other countries, India too is concerned at recent developments related to Taiwan, of course. Now, we urge the exercise of restraint, avoidance of unilateral actions to change status quo, de-escalation of tensions, and efforts to maintain peace and stability in the region. But, interestingly, India was completely silent on its support for the One China principle or policy, whatever you call it. Now, the Chinese are so hyper about the issue that one single non-mention had their Chinese ambassador to India call a press meet the next day in New Delhi on 13th August to say that China was working hard to bring back on track India-China relations and that it hoped that India would reaffirm its commitment to One China policy. Basically, you have to reiterate publicly that you follow One China policy, etc., etc., etc. Oh, really? Now, we didn't say that we wouldn't follow the One China policy, did we? We just avoided reiterating it. We didn't mention it. But maybe we should actually stop following the One China policy. Just as then External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj had said, if you don't follow One India policy, how can we follow One China policy? Now, according to your, meaning Chinese policy, even Arunachal, Sikkim, Ladakh are all part of your One China. So today, if we support you on One China, tomorrow you will say we are supporting your claim on our territory. And what is this normalization of bilateral relations are you talking about? How can there be normalizations with the two armies locked in an eyeball-to-eyeball standoff along the line of actual control? Now, there cannot be business as usual when you have vitiated the relationship. There cannot be normalization until and unless status quo ante is restored to pre-May 2020 levels along the LOC, meaning the pre-Galwan clash, pre-your incursion into our territory. Now, on the one hand, you are sending your ship to Sri Lanka to spy on us, and on the other, you want us to be friends and reiterate your One China policy. You are blocking us and the Americans from getting Pakistani-backed terrorists designated as global terrorists. You have done it again recently for the third time at the United Nations Security Council. But you want us to support loud and clear your one China policy? If we are silent, silence is our prerogative. Interpretation of that silence is your prerogative. So what else has India done? As the report points out, India sent the Dalai Lama to one of the remotest villages in Ladakh in an IAF helicopter, and they released a photo of the visit, knowing full well how apoplectic with rage China can get on anything related to the Dalai Lama's visit to any part of Indian territory Beijing calls its own. India will also now carry out military exercises with the US less than 100 kilometers from the LAC at Auli in Uttarakhand in October. And as this report says, India is finalizing a comprehensive plan to carry out joint naval exercises with countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Singapore in the South China Sea, the place China calls its backyard. We have already gone there, by the way. Last year, we had sent a naval task force over there. And now we are in the process of deepening our security ties with the smaller countries. We are deepening our trade ties with them. We want the sea lanes open in that crucial region. We are building up relationships with potential customers for our manufacturing industry. All this is part of our Act East policy. Let me put it this way in conclusion. Action, rather reaction to what you, Communist China, have done and what you are doing 24/7. Our reaction is our prerogative. How you interpret our reaction is your prerogative. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.